I recently saw his search history, and lo and behold, girls burping on command. I honestly felt bad because I can't do that for him. I can't make him feel whatever he feels when I burp on our video calls. What can I do?
Today drained me. Hi guys, Murugi Muni here.
It's Lydia KM.
And we are back again with another episode of
The Messy In Between. It's definitely TMI. Good now it's decided. Now it's a thing. It's a thing. It's our jingle.
It's our birthday week.
It's our birthday week.
Mine
it's
is tomorrow. I know. And
happy
yours,
birthday, beautiful. I love you so much. Let me see a birthday thing. You are like fine wine. I know. Never heard that one before. You honestly do get better with age. And I don't know. I think it's just God blessing me. I came into your life in this season of your life where it's just like you're just sprouting, and it's been so amazing to see your journey. I love it. Yeah.
Which is so weird because I feel like that's how I feel about you.
Really?
The Lydia of today versus the Lydia that I met.
Yeah. Extreme.
Literally, because when I met you, you were going through a breakup. Remember, it was like breakup before this last breakup.
This is my brand.
Exactly. No, it's not. We don't affirm that.
God forbid.
We don't affirm that. Exactly.
That was my last one ever.
That was...
Wow.
Let's say that. Let's say that. But anyway, I remember that time. So you had taken a break from social media. You weren't even like a content creator.
I wasn't a content creator.
You were just kind of like somewhere in between. It was like you're hosting a show, but you didn't seem that happy in hosting the show because we had so many issues there. Exactly. And it's like between that and then seeing you go from that and like saying, how do I become, more of a content creator? How do I whatever? Then just seeing your journey has been amazing.
Yeah, same.
It's been just so beautiful.
I see. So when you are preggo with Tana.
Oh.
So I knew more of you from a motherhood perspective.
As opposed to
because
like me
I found
as a
you
person.
in your mother element, obviously pregnant. Yeah. So seeing that and seeing the evolution from Yummy Mommy to Murugi Muni to Wild, I've seen it. Now I see more Joe. As much as I know you have got exactly 3 kids, I do see you more. I see more Joe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like I also see more Joe.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's really difficult to find like your footing when your kids are really young. Like I feel like it's a time of a bit of sacrifice, I would say, a bit of sacrifice, but definitely it's getting easier.
Yeah.
But happy birthday to us.
Happy birthday.
Lydia is turning 32.
Yeah.
I'm turning 33.
Yeah. And it's so still funky that we are born literally one day.
Gotta be honest though, I'm not that excited about my birthday.
I know why.
Yeah, I know. And we mentioned this in the last episode.
Yeah,
in the last episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah, but we're doing something joint together.
Yeah, something special.
So it's just going to be something nice. Very simple. This year we both feel very like why are we doing acrobats?
Like we want to celebrate the fact that we are turning a year older, but also we're not trying to be getting home at 6 a.m.
Yeah, I don't want any of that. In fact, I vow to have let me know.
You know, vow is a very big
one
word.
Thing I want is to have a sober birthday.
Same.
I've never had a sober birthday since I turned probably 16 because that's when I finished high school.
Okay,
so every hi mommy. So every birthday there's just reason to drink. But this year, actually guys, we were supposed to do like alcohol free all year, but I didn't. But I've been doing it in February. Yeah. And I love it. I want to have a sober birthday.
I love it too, but also I've been feeling like when I feel like I really would just like a cold glass of wine or really like, then I give it to myself.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I do. But I've only done it once. Like the night Zach was leaving, I needed it. And then this other weekend when my kids were away.
No, she didn't need it. She wanted it. Stop encouraging the need for alcohol, Joanne. But guess what? I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, like, exactly. You're just like...
Yeah, when the world is up here...
And you're just like, I just want to take a breath, man. I just need to take a breath. Yeah, so I took the breath. But it's really nice not having like regular, like all the time. Exactly. Yeah. And realizing we can actually have fun.
We can.
In fact, even more fun.
And why do we
drink?
Present. Look, right now, guys, we're sober. Yeah. What else do we need?
Okay, so you don't miss like cocktails on shoot days a little bit.
No, I don't.
The after shoot cocktails.
There's nothing I'm missing about alcohol at all in this time right now. But what anyway, we could go into this.
We could go into that.
Bloody hell. But
maybe.
I can see the hardship.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do the best to have the best birthday possible.
We shall. Happy birthday to us.
Happy birthday to us. And thank you so much for joining us once again. If this is your first time, Karibu.
Welcome.
You are now part of the family. But if you have not subscribed, you're really not. Let's be honest.
You're like a distant cousin.
You're like a distant cousin who's like, you come to the party, but you don't want to bring anything to the barbecue. Why?
You're just eating
Bring
meat.
something to the barbecue. So please subscribe wherever you're listening to or watching to, because we tell you guys this all the time. It really does help us. And for our birthday present, we've begged for Christmas. We've begged for Valentine's. Now we're begging for our birthday.
Man, please
subscribe wherever you're tuned into. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So this episode, we decided to do a dilemma one because you guys love them and we love them as well. Because I love that we never know what to expect, because most times we haven't really gone through we haven't gone through in details. We're just like, we could be talking about anything. It could be hair, it could be penises.
You're just talking and then you're just like, booty hole. Oh dear. Oh, booty. Okay.
So you never know what to expect. But I think for us also, it's the fact that a lot of our podcast is us giving you guys, and then now this time we get to give you, but it's like you're sharing with us and we're sharing with you as well.
Very intimate.
It feels very intimate.
We love it,
So thank you to everyone who sends in your questions. Sometimes we respond to them here, sometimes on DM, sometimes on Instagram stories. So make sure you're following us on Instagram as well, because sometimes we do it on there. But we have a good mix of dilemmas to get through. So should I start?
Yes, honey.
Okay. So a babe wrote to us on Instagram and she said, "Hello, Queen Betweeners. Hey, I keep loving and following your content. I'm in a dilemma. I've been single for a while, but I met this man 5 months ago. He's a good soul, caring, and all that I wanted for my man. I see in him." Whenever it starts nice like that, you know it's gonna go to shit. Anyway, last weekend he took me on a vacation to Diani and we had a good time. But when time came and we're in the room making love, shock on me, the guy was not circumcised. I felt so shocked and confused about it. I tried my best not to let him know. I gave an excuse and we didn't have sex, but I know he was hurt. Please help. Like, how can I handle this since it's all now very awkward?
Bloody hell, mate. Ooh. So I'll share my personal experience. I've had sex with people who are not circumcised, being that circumcision in England is not commonplace like the way that it is here. And there's how many people? Okay, we'll say 3.
I thought you've only ever had sex with 3 men in your life.
We'll say 3 people who were like, actually none of them were even like, okay, so there were people who are from Caribbean descent.
All 3?
Huh? Okay. No, 1. Oh, actually, it was only 2. Sorry, forgive me. It was 2. They were mixed, but then their black parent was of Jamaican descent, and the other one was a white parent. And the British don't, the Caribbeans don't. Predominantly, of course, there's some who probably have. And I've had sex, but I didn't go down. I don't know why. I don't have a reason why.
But do you always go down when
I think it's because of even the age at that time. I don't think that's something I was doing so much commonplace.
Unlike today.
The second you do cross over, it's really hard. It's really hard. Now I don't know. And actually, I had heard, I don't know if this is true, that Luo men are not. Right?
Yeah.
Predominantly. Obviously, I previously dated someone who was Luo. So at first I was just like, oh, God, please.
But he
was.
Oh.
Yeah. He was.
I was like, are you about to out him?
No. I wasn't going to out him. Yeah, but that was... Yeah, praise be, because I don't think I could go back. Would that have been a deal breaker? I think that would have been a bit of a thing. Yeah. For sure. For sure.
And I feel like it's just one of those... It's just one of those things. Me, I was once in a situation when I lived in South Africa and the guy was white. And when he took off his pants and it was, it looked different, I was just like, I can't.
Right?
Yeah. It felt bad saying that. And he obviously was very offended and very hurt. He ended up kicking me out of his house. But you know what? I was like, I guess there's just some things which just like you can't. And for me, it's not like it's disgusting or anything. We just have known enough right now about the additional risks that come with being uncircumcised, more higher risk of HIV, higher risk of STDs, higher risk of being able, like hygiene issues. And for me, and it's not to say that all of them who are uncircumcised, definitely you have a hygiene issue. It's just not a risk I'm willing to take, not when there are so many other options.
Yeah. So for me personally, I don't know if for the Kikuyus in the house you can appreciate, but the idea that the boy, a man becomes a man after he's circumcised.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a really strong stigma. And even the way you're addressed, the way you're dealt with, everything changes around the male child the second you are circumcised. Yeah. So there's a thing there that is like in your back, that it's conditioning, obviously, because of course you're a man.
Yeah.
But there's something there. Personally, even the look of it, it's not giving at all.
Yeah, but remember, this is our own personal opinion. Yeah. It's not like saying that we're not. Everyone has their own thing, their own style. And for this babe particular question, she's asking how should she handle it. I would say, think about, is that something that you're going to be able to overcome? Because sometimes, it's like something which is like, okay, I'm unsure about this. Then you end up doing it and you're like, oh, I'm fine with it. Other times it's just like, this is a no for me. Which for us now at our age is just like, this is a no for us. Yeah. I would say you just need to have an honest conversation with him. It can't be like you're beating around the bush. No, that's not.
How are you going to have a conversation?
I just feel like,
but you're allowed to have your preferences. By the way,
exactly. And I'll just be like, hey, babe. So I know that when we're in Diani, it was a bit of an awkward situation, and I have to be honest. Finding out that you were uncircumcised was a bit uncomfortable for me, and to be honest, because I have certain views around that I'm not able to budge on.
This is really good. Yeah. Take word for word.
Write it down and just read it from your phone. Yeah. Because and then just say So I think it's a deal breaker for me, and I don't think, because also it's not like you're going to ask him, please, can you get circumcised for me? This is not even your husband, exactly, or anything like that. I would just say, do you feel like that's something he should have said like before?
I don't think so. I don't think you owe me that. Date 3 made my rice in my mouth. By the way, I'm not circumcised.
But it's less about owing, but more about, if you know that it's the less common, I would want you to know about something. Like, for example, if I know that I have a giant clitoris, which is like giant.
Are you really going to want someone there?
Because now, are you going to, how many awkward situations will you be in before you realize people just should know, so that we have not paid for a whole Airbnb and then now we are not even having the sex? Right?
I don't know. But I feel like it's easier to say when you don't have something like that, because it's private. This is private information. And maybe in his life, whether or not he wasn't that much of a big deal. Maybe she's the first one that he's going to jump out the window.
Maybe he can say it like now when we're in the context of we're in the room and we are kissing before. It's just like flip it out. And then what?
I don't think it's I don't think so.
Really,
I feel like that is not something necessarily. I feel like I need to know. But if he wants to protect himself, that's his job. He can do whatever. But for me, I won't be like, why didn't you tell me? I don't think so. Now I
would have been like, you should have told me.
Let me throw this out there, right? Because we are here throwing fingers and shaking necks, right? However, and this is not the first time I've had a lady DM me about this, when women are circumcised, which, by the way, that is not okay. That is not something we want to continue doing, but it's still happening whether we like it or not. And when this is happening to a lot of girls, they're not aware. They're not in a position of power to be able to be like, oh, no, I don't want to do this. They're young and it's like part of their culture, right? And then one of the ladies just like, every time, because now she's cut, she doesn't, a lot of men are just like, no, they don't want to have sex.
Why?
Because you've been cut. Things look different there. And also pleasure. The point of it is so that you're not, and also it does look different.
I would say two things. I'm not sure about like the specificities of that, but I know that with FGM there's the cutting of the clitoris, and there are some who are like sewn kind of, so that
but most of the ones were about the cutting of the clitoris.
If it's just the cutting of the clitoris, no, I guess it depends on how it looks. But I would say that pleasure can be derived from so many things. It's not just the clitoris that gives pleasure. There's your boobs, there's your booty hole, there's penetration.
But it's not like that. It's not like that one. And also, I'm saying it does look different. So then if a guy says that he doesn't want to have sex with you because of that,
see, then now you see the thing with sex, that even a guy can take off your clothes and then he's like, oh, you have too many stretch marks, I don't want to have sex with you because of that.
So should we share that as well?
That she has been circumcised?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, so the woman shouldn't.
You see, for a woman may feel like it's like something has been taken away.
Let's just pause for the double standard. Let's pause.
No, listen, I feel like mine it makes sense. The thing that has been taken away, it doesn't inhibit your pleasure. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like with a guy, it's something which is literally, it's going to actually could physically affect me as your partner. How is her lack of clitoris affecting you as her partner?
Because maybe when I look at it, I'm not happy with it. That's what a lot of girls say. That
what are they even looking at? How often is it the first time you've had sex?
This is not what the point is. The conversation is someone is looking at the vagina that has been cut and they're not happy with it, what do they do?
That women who have been circumcised and men who have not been circumcised within a context of these are the outliers as opposed to like this is the norm would probably need to take more time between when they meet someone and when they have sex with them so that you trust somebody enough by the time you're going into bed to have that conversation.
So then they get the right for casual sex like everyone taken away. Because of something
you're asking a lot of questions. You're giving any answers. What would you say? Would you tell a guy then that you've been circumcised?
Personally, I stand with you in that anything that I feel might affect the way things go with someone, I'm putting it on the table as early as possible. But not date 1, date 2. It's just like when I see someone is like of substance, right? Then I'll be able to. For example, one of the things I actually, now that I'm single, I don't first share is that I'm a content creator. I don't. It's like I want to keep that far enough until I see like, okay, you're a decent person. But now before I start catching feelings all the way, somewhere in between.
Yeah.
So that it's just like, I've known enough. So this is like, it has a bit of substance. But before it escalates so that I don't feel like I'm losing you, I tell you, this is my content creator. This is a link to TMI. Have fun.
However, if a man is smart, he'll already know after date 1 because he's going to go look you up.
Yeah. It's not everyone who does that, but someone did already. I was just like, he was like, oh, should I look you up? I was like, you're gonna if you haven't already, so
exactly.
Go.
Yeah, so I guess it just depends.
It's somewhere in between. And we do know this is a really sensitive issue, and a lot of these things have nothing to do with you per se. They weren't like life choices. It was maybe whatever you grew up around, and some of these decisions were made by your parents. But since we are interacting in 2023, these are some things which come up because it's not the norm for a man to not be, and it's not the norm for the woman to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So those are things which kind of are going to affect your dating life, whether we like it or not, whether we would like it to be the case or not. But it is.
Yeah. So your only option is just to have a straightforward conversation with him and probably just break up with him because it seems like it's a big deal for you.
Like to the point of not having sex.
Yeah.
I think.
And you're in Diani.
Actually, let me tell you, I did go back and have sex with somebody before. Like after I had now been with guys who were uncircumcised, I did. And? But I'm not willing to go down.
Did it feel different?
It didn't feel different. Okay. But it definitely looks different.
Really?
But it doesn't feel different. Yeah. The look matters, Me
even watching like porn where the guy is uncircumcised, it makes me feel a bit uncomfortable.
I get it.
Bloody hell.
All right then. We hope we're helping. Bloody hell. We pray we're helping. Okay. The next one. Hey, I need a little help. After watching your latest episode on kinks, I just realized that my man's opened up about his, but didn't really say it was a kink. He said he enjoys burping on command a while back, and I even tried to learn how to burp on command, but keep going. Stop laughing there. But I end up feeling so much pain in the stomach. Having that we are a long distance relationship, he asked for videos or audios of me burping on demand, but I'm not able to do it. I recently saw his search history, and lo and behold, girls burping on command. I honestly felt bad because I can't do that for him. I can't make him feel whatever he feels when I burp on our video calls. What can I do?
Today drained me.
What? This is the beauty of not reading them because we get to be with you guys.
So,
I think I would share.
First of all, we don't kink shame here, by the way, because everyone's is disgusting to someone, by the way.
It's just whatever. It's just
what it is.
It's just something that's just not something I've ever heard to be. Number one, someone doesn't have to say this is a kink for it to be a kink. So it's good that you've noticed that maybe he did have a kink, even though he didn't say that it was one. Because guys are not gonna be like, by the way, I have a kink.
Yeah.
No, they're just gonna randomly tell you,
Could you burp?
Ebu burp, ebu bark. Bark like a dog.
Okay, first wait.
Bark like a dog. You think it's fun and games, but now that's your job. Anyway, what I would personally say is that if unaumia, like she's saying it's hurting her stomach, I think I would share. Maybe if you really want to keep doing it, you can Google how do I burp on demand without having stomach issues, if you really do want to please him.
Yeah.
But if you're done, if you're at your tether and you're just like, this is not something I'm willing to invest in, you should tell him why it's making you feel a particular kind of way. Yeah. I would say that. Because, for example, like anal, that's not a Monday to Friday thing. You need to share, like, okay, this is a special occasion because my booty's on fire.
It's Valentine's. That's it.
It's Valentine's and done, because someone, if you're open to trying, he also needs to be open with what your limits are, what makes you feel uncomfortable, what you are unable to do, or what's causing you pain while you're doing it.
Yeah. If you are determined to keep doing it though, I would say get like Coke, get like a bottle of Coke. And
do
then
you
just
know
like
what it takes to burp on demand?
I mean, I feel like you can just like, because when I drink Coke, I automatically will burp because it has gas.
But on demand, there must be there must be something you're doing. Joe!
Yeah, that's burping on command.
How do you do that?
You just like swallow air, then let it out. Like,
oh my God, what is this, Joanne?
So you can just ask your man to watch this anytime. No, it has to be like, I'm so sorry, guys. Please don't make me go viral because this is embarrassing. I don't want to be known as the girl who can burp on command. Yeah, you have to like. It has to be like.
How do you swallow air?
There's like a particular. You have to feel like a click as you're taking it in, and then you.
Okay.
Yeah,
so maybe Joanne you can to give you classes. Does it hurt your stomach when you do it?
No, it's just like because I've just swallowed the air
DM
and let
Joanne.
it out.
There you go. There's your solution. DM Joanne on
maybe
how to do it.
This can be a money-making opportunity for me.
Oh my God,
just do like classes or something.
If it's being Googled, maybe this is
perhaps.
Oh, you know,
it's so wild how they are. It's so wild how there are things you've never even thought of.
I don't know how you're doing it. How are you drinking air?
You're just like.
This is the funniest thing ever.
And wow, I've just right now realized I can do that.
Me, I'm breathing.
You can't, no. It has to be like, I'm sorry, guys. This is not a class on how to burp on. Cindy, do you have something to say? No, you okay?
I give myself 2 weeks to learn because now it must be done.
Exactly. But what I appreciate is that this babe actually took the time to try and research and you're trying to learn and whatnot. I think it's fantastic. But just tell him. And if it makes you feel insecure, because I know now if he's just searching it and you're not able to do it, then you start feeling like, okay, he's not like ways that he can't get pleasure from me or whatever. Then also, you can just be like, maybe let me let him find a woman who can burp on command.
But here's the thing, I also personally don't feel the pressure of being able to satisfy every single need.
Yeah, but if that's the one thing he's searching.
No, I get that, but I don't think that's like good night, we're going to break up. I feel like it's one of those, it's okay to be like, there is something you really need that I'm not able to give it to you. Number one, men don't satisfy most of our emotional needs. And he's going nowhere.
We're still here riding or dying.
He's going nowhere.
You're right.
So, sometimes it's okay to be like, I have my human limits because I'm a human being. I'll do my best, like maybe every so often. But if this is like a 24/7 job, I might not be able to do it, and that needs to be okay.
Would you feel okay if like you know that you're not doing it, but every time you go onto his search browser, that's what he's searching?
I don't mind you exploring. If I go on your search browser and it says madness, some things I won't be able to do. Oh, girls jumping off the building. Oh, okay. So we attempt that as well.
Okay, but that's extreme. Imagine if he's dating you and then he's always searching super plus size girls, super plus size white girls.
Yeah, I know it's weird, but honestly, I feel like on my search history, if you look, you will feel inadequate as well. So you go there and have your fun, pon the internet. I will too, because I don't know if you can be a Japanese girl. Can you be? No.
Can you? You cannot. And on that, say what we said. All right. Someone else asked, hey there, ladies. I love the content you talked about with Jules. I was watching a movie like yesterday and combining everything said, and it led me to ask this question. Do you think you can have it all? Like a good husband who has everything that you've ever wanted that boyfriends in previous relationships failed, which is stability, stability, love, intimacy, and not just sexually, and like crazy sex all in one person, and still be content and like never miss a certain feeling from your past experiences? That's a great question.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful question. first of all the things I feel like you've listed are like the bare minimums of like a happy, healthy relationship.
Literally.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything there that you've mentioned that's just like, whoa,
I don't know if we can give
you
that.
Much. That's too much.
Yeah.
However, despite all of those things being there, it's okay to miss the person, right? If you had a guy, like the guy who I lost my virginity to was sized like crazy. It's like, wow, I remember that feeling. That was crazy. Painful, but crazy. And I'm allowed to miss that, but still be able to appreciate this man who I'm with, who also offers me something different, because that person probably can't give me this. And this is what I'm aligned with right now. So I feel like it's okay to miss some things, but one person is not supposed to be one or
cannot
perfect.
Be everything. Exactly.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that, because I feel like the relationship I'm in now, or like my marriage, I feel like I get all those things. I have stability and love and intimacy and amazing sex and all those things. But in some ways, the way you imagine things are going to be exactly aligned, like your definition before you find that person, might not be the way it is. Kind of
For
like,
sure.
Yeah, because it's like, love, if they're just thinking it'll just all be perfect, it won't. You'll still have them, but it's like the way it materializes is in different things, you know, so depending on the phases of your marriage or whatever, but you come to love and appreciate that, because that's the thing, like, as you said, you align to. And of course, there are things that you might miss, but you absolutely can't, because it's always a thing of, what do I want most?
Yeah.
Because you see, it's like, if what you want most is crazy sex, then you're going to align with somebody who gives you that crazy sex, but then maybe you're sacrificing the stability and the love or whatever. Yeah. But if what you want most is that stability and love, there might be some things which are like 8 out of 10. This one is 10 out of 10. This one is 6 out of 10. This one is like 7. It's like, it's all kind of, you know, some kind of
I think sometimes we don't allow ourselves to feel very human emotions, and then we start thinking they mean something. Missing an ex doesn't mean you to get back to them, or missing your old life, or maybe, you know, all of those things can be there. But what I find to be problematic is when you over compromise with who you're with now, then you start feeling like a part of you isn't being explored. So now, like, the person who you're with is like sexually like next to 0, and you are a really sexual person, that's a problem. But if it's like, oh, he still does it, but maybe not like the fire when I was 21, you know, I feel like the over compromising is the issue. But balance and finding someone who gives you so many of the things but still missing the old part, it's okay.
It's fine.
I feel it's even healthy. It means that you're alive.
Because absolutely no one is perfect. No one is 100% on everything.
And the same way you're being given grace, you give grace to other people.
Well.
There's that rule actually from that show where the lady had like everything with this one guy, but then she ran into an ex who was just like hot sex, and there's a lady who told her, with everyone you're going to get 80% of what you're going to
look
get,
for.
You're looking for. So don't leave the 80 for the 20. Yeah.
And most times I feel like that 20 is a shallow, it's a shallow
never
thing.
The most important thing. It's never the most important thing.
Like, for example, if the 80 you're with, it's like everything is amazing, like he's a great dad, great father, whatever, the stability, but the sex is not at 100, then what you do is like you try to do what you can to like increase that score. To increase it. It wouldn't just be like it's 100 at everything, then this other one is 100 on sex, let's go to this side. No, it doesn't work like that.
I agree. Okay, this is another one. Good evening, TMI. I hope you're doing well. We are doing well. Thank you for asking. So I've been in, and I'm still in a serious relationship with my boyfriend. We have been together for 3 years, and I love him so much. Before we officially dated, he told me he had a child, brackets, which I didn't and don't have a problem with, Sawa. We are planning on getting married this year, and I need advice. Being that I will be staying with his daughter for the rest of our lives, I'm scared. I feel like, what if I do it all wrong? I don't know whether to set boundaries or not. I'm just confused. I really love this man and his child, but what if love isn't just enough?
Oh my.
Maybe you can speak on that.
Yeah. And I don't know. This is what you're describing is exactly. Exactly.
What would be the boundaries be?
And why are you saying you're scared? Did you say she's scared to set boundaries, or what did she say?
She's scared because what if she doesn't get it? Like, what if she does it wrong?
I feel like what you're describing is exactly why I always pray to God. Like, because I was a single mom, I was like, I do not want to get married to somebody who is a single dad or like somebody who has kids, because I know it can be difficult. However, I feel like the fact that you're even concerned about this and you're concerned about, I don't want to do things wrong, I want to try and do things right, it already shows that your heart is in a good place. Yeah, I feel like your heart is in a good place. And the fact that you're willing to ask questions, willing to learn, that already puts you like many steps ahead. At this point, because you've said you love him and his daughter, I'm assuming they have met. I'm assuming you've met the child.
3 years down,
3 years down, you must have met the child. I would say reach out for as much support as possible. This is one option that you've reached out to us for some advice, but reach out to, because there are programs like church programs, a therapist, in fact, a family therapist. There's a family therapy center called All Smiles Therapy Center. I would highly recommend, because they do all kinds of, it's like blended family, divorced families, things like that, so that you can be able to learn how to navigate. Maybe you can even do therapy together as a family. I would definitely say that before you guys now get married, you definitely need to have a conversation. With him about what his expectations are as far as you're literally becoming the child's mom. What is the dynamic with him and the child's mother?
Okay, I hope you know all of these things, dear Lord.
3
years down. 3 years down. To know.
What is the dynamic there? Does she understand what's happening? I mean, what is your relationship with the daughter? I feel like it's one of those things which is literally a day at a time. But as long as you're approaching it with love, with grace, with an attitude where you're willing to learn, I feel like it'll be easier than you think it's going to be. That's what I think.
Yeah, and actually, I feel like having a loving heart, almost always the way you're going to interact with the child isn't going to be like, this is a child who I'm responsible for. Sometimes it's just like, it's a child, like the way you'd love your friends' kids, you just like find love there. But I do agree with Joe. This might need a bit more like guidance, a bit more training on how to navigate, because of course a child is involved. Maybe there's transition issues or things like that. So definitely seek more help. But if you're scared of getting it wrong, it's one of those. It's just like motherhood. Even when you're a mom, what if you get it wrong?
Exactly.
You might get it wrong. So the most you can do is just do your best, be loving, be kind, have these open and honest conversations, and see how it goes, because it sounds like you're really happy in the relationship otherwise.
Exactly. Definitely have a conversation. And my assumption is, and especially what's going to be most important is between you and your now soon to be husband. Because it's his support that you'll need. Of course, there's a lot of modalities like, okay, is the child going to call you mom? Is the child living with you and also going to visit her biological mother, or is she living with her and just coming to visit you? A lot of the things will be like, we'll take it a day at a time and like as they come. But more grace and power to you.
It's true.
Honestly.
So I personally, it's not on my ideal list to have somebody who has a child, but I think it's definitely easier when it's the guy who has a child than when it's the woman, because as we said, motherhood is all encompassing. It's like this is definitely a 2-in-1, but a lot of parents, it's like mostly the kids usually live with the mom. Majority of the times, of course, there are parents who even have maybe equal share, but mostly the mom is the primary parent. So you find that you can have actually a completely almost quote unquote normal relationship with somebody who is very much a present dad and there and stuff. So it's not, for me, it's not the end of the world. If someone is perfect and then they have a child, that wouldn't be a thing.
Have you ever been almost a stepmom?
I've been almost a stepmom quite a few times. It's not even this one, this first one.
Even this one?
Barely. That one I was barely. Yeah.
Your girl could be like, today you're seeing her sitting here, she's not a mom. Tomorrow I need to go pick the kids up.
Two kids.
I have to go pick the kids up.
2 kids straight off. Yeah. And also I think I have so much love to give.
I think so.
I wouldn't see the separation between you and a child, because I would just love them.
But I also feel like when it's the guy who has the kids, there just tends to be more drama than when it's the woman who has the kids.
Oh, because a lot of women usually
exactly,
has.
There's
but
drama.
see, that's it. There will be all of these things would have to be right. The boundaries, the relationship you have with the ex-partner, how well you're being able to be a present dad, all of those things will
so much.
So I can't have like your ex is riding down to attack me. No. We are not doing that.
We are all in the car together. Like, what is the relationship? So much needs to, All right. Someone else sent us a DM. Hey, TM, I kindly advise. I am an introvert dating this social, outspoken guy who is a social media holic.
Oh my God, she messaged me about this actually.
Who is always posting stuff contradicting the fact that he's dating. For example, posting stuff like fear women. and things like that. He has several female friends and claims he has no sexual relationship with them. He says his posts in social media life does not mean anything in his real life. Deep down, it really hurts when I see him posting hurtful stuff about how women are to be feared and how bad women can be. He comes back at the end of the day and says he loves me and all. Kindly advise, since I really want to end the relationship. Thank you. You should end it.
Personally, I was just like, this is not an introverted, extroverted issue.
No,
there are many extroverts who are also not posting sexist material.
Yeah.
I think I've said this on TMI before. Your social media is not a separate entity. Don't give me ass. Please do not.
Whoa, are you triggered? Did something happen in the past?
No, as in, because I hear this too much. As in, I'm just posting on social media. You spend your day posting content that's demeaning, rude, and sexist.
If he's sharing and rotate and then come and tell you, no, man, I'm just... I know, I'm just sharing, as in it's just for conversation, you know.
Yeah. And keep it BFFs. And then you want me to open my leg.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
If you're afraid, women, fear this too. Why are you not afraid? Allah? Why are you not afraid? I personally feel like it's not an extrovert introvert issue. But if this is something which you want to work on, you've told him what you're expressing via social media is hurtful to me. It's hurtful to women. It's horrible. If you've expressed that and this person is not being clear, that's the issue.
Yeah.
Not him being extroverted.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think she had a follow-up question like, do you think like extrovert and introvert can actually work?
Absolutely.
And I was like, most couples are actually
like
an extrovert and an introvert.
Yes.
But it's like the degrees that might vary and also what is his extrovertedness causing. I think he's just a sexist and he wants to come off as a single sexist at that. So
yeah, absolutely not. I feel like
that would be a problem.
The red flag is your partner doing something which I tell you, it hurts me.
It's hurtful.
It hurts me when you do this. And for me to just be like, no, you just relax. That's gaslighting.
Yeah.
First of all. And then also I feel like this thing of saying, oh, that's a separate entity. It's a way for them to be able to do what they want without being held accountable.
Ooh, ding, ding,
so
ding,
he
ding,
just
ding.
wants to be able to say what he wants and whatever. And okay, fine. If maybe his page is just a meme sharing account, because there are people who they do that.
That makes sense.
But if it's all in one line of fearing women,
yeah, and also why does that make you feel good to post that? Why do you want the world to know you as this? I have an issue with that.
I too.
Oh, for sure, I have an issue with that. Especially anything pertaining like sexism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So let's say you guys go on a couple of years. Yeah. You don't think some of those ideologies are going to seep through your relationship, his relationship with his daughters? Yeah. Of course, it's going to seep through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for him to post something and say, oh, it's just because I find it funny. The fact that you find those things funny says something about what you actually believe, about your values.
About you.
Why is that one the funny one? Why is that one the fun one? Why is that the one you think people will laugh at?
And the fact that you're not embarrassed that that's what you're posting. So there's some fragments of who you are in this. Yeah. And that is actually what the red flag is.
Definitely. So you are right. Please do end the relationship. Or you could decide to be toxic and even you start posting things.
You know, I was going to say that. Yeah.
On your stories about
men and dogs.
No, or just be posting about like, hey, it's hard to date someone with a small dick. Woo, man, you know.
Whoa,
it's
separate me from my social media. Yeah, exactly. Separate me.
It's not for me. Ooh. It's just for fun. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah. I also have a huge issue with anyone who is apparently in a relationship, but they want to brand themselves like they're single. Why? Why is that more important? Whatever it is we're doing, why is that more important? And this is not to say people can't have private relationships. They absolutely can. Yeah. But when you're going out of your way to seem like you're single.
To appear single, yeah.
No.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Okay, the next one. Hey, big sisters. I have a sexual dilemma which I thought about after watching this episode. Probably the King's one. Firstly, I was brought up Christian, and also I was brought up in a single parent family, my mom, which has informed a lot about my sexuality. So there is where my dilemma lies. I am attracted to my gender, but I feel like it's because I have not had a positive male figure in my life, and sometimes I feel like I need therapy to quote unquote fix myself. On the other hand, in my mid-20s, I want to be true to myself and live authentically, brackets, not date men, especially because I can't stand sex with men. What are your thoughts? Oh, I don't think this is there. I don't think this is a fixable. I think you just
are homosexual.
Yeah.
I don't.
I
feel like Yeah, to some extent, I guess because you are brought up in a Christian home, I feel like you're invalidating your own feelings by saying that the only reason you're attracted to women is because you haven't seen a male figure. There are lots of people who, by the way, are attracted to people who are of the same gender who have had perfect parents.
And there are people who are raised by single moms.
Exactly.
Like men.
Yeah, exactly. But I would definitely say you're on the right track. You should definitely go to therapy because there's a lot that you can explore.
Yeah.
I would think that, I would just say follow your heart though. I would just say do it. And the fact that you want to live authentically, I love the fact that you used those words. I want to live authentically. Absolutely live authentically. Also, I feel like our bodies, our minds have ways of showing us when we are on the right path. Do you know how like you go for like a particular meeting or you do something and you just go home feeling like that's what I was meant to do today, or that's where I was meant to be, or this is the person I'm meant to be with right now. I feel like if you start dating women or like just stop dating men, or if you just start being affiliated with people of your gender, you'll kind of have a feeling it'll either feel right or it'll feel wrong, you know? And I would just say try. I would just say try.
I would definitely say try it. And okay, maybe we don't know because you just said you can't stand sex with men. So maybe you can actually, first of all, explore. Do you have suppressed sexual desires because of your Christian background?
Yeah.
Do you have issues or hate men because you are raised by a single mom? Maybe therapy can help you go down the list of like sorting some of these issues. And then maybe at the end, if you do find, oh, actually, I don't hate them at all. I just needed to deal with some issues. Great. Or you find that really you're just attracted to women. Yeah. So definitely therapy is something would say we fix it.
Yeah, but I would say also just remain open-minded because I guess, I don't know if the way when homosexuals, or is the word homosexual, but is it not people, members of the LGBTQIA community? So.
But it's because that word was made bad. Because there's nothing wrong with it.
Because it's just like heterosexual, homosexual. So I feel like more often than not, I don't usually hear them saying things like I'm attracted to a woman because I can't stand men. It's more of just like I'm just attracted to women, just the same way even you. It's not like, oh, I can't stand women. No, I'm just attracted to men.
So maybe maybe there is something
there could be something to explore for sure. And I would say just walk the path and then just see where it leads you.
And you know what, we've actually been getting a lot of questions along the lines of LG.
And I have another one here.
I think what we need to we get a guest get a guest, someone who is part of the community who can walk us around this, you know. Maybe Maken and Jerry. We'll reach out.
Perhaps. And actually, I was telling Nelly this now when I was watching Perfect Match. I kept pausing because I'm like, I'm still in the place where I'm still trying to understand how do some of the things work? So like I don't know if I'll spoil for anyone who has watched, but you see how when Francesca and Abby were getting together, I was just like, so they're both feminine, they're both super feminine. So I was like, when they get together, how do they navigate like what is like the male-ish? I don't know if that's how they examine things, but you know, like let's say when you're kissing a man, or even like let's say it's a butch versus more feminine babe, it's like the butch does the more masculine energy things versus the feminine will do the but now when you're both femme, is there any conflict in terms of like who is doing what, who is touching what, how is it working? Do you know what I mean?
But the thing is, masculine and feminine work even in female friendships, right? They just do. So I feel like that's the same way.
But what if we are both feminine?
No, but we are not all predominantly. We are all both. So then your masculine is going to come in at certain situations and my feminine. Just like in our friendship. If you start crying, I naturally have more masculine energy because I want to protect you. I want to help you or whatever. And it would just be like that. Technically, it's because of seeing heterosexual dynamics so much that we think that's the only way people can couple. But really the truth is, even in other friendships where there's mostly you're a woman, I'm a woman, we just navigate.
It's true.
We just navigate.
Because like, okay, when they were kissing, I kept watching. I was just like, okay, Francesca has held her the way Zach would hold me. So I'm just like, so now
that's the heterosexual conditioning for sure.
You know, because I'm an ally and I just want to know how to be a better ally. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like maybe one of the things is to stop seeing the dynamics very much from like who's the man, who's the woman.
Exactly.
More like they're two people and they're engaging, and as far as how their feminine and masculine energies go, I guess they figure that out.
I know.
That's really them.
It was just looking hot though.
Oh my God. Me, I said, I go a little bit. I was like,
I know. Deaf. Okay, so still along those lines, a King Betweener sent this message. I know.
Hi, King Betweener.
We love it when the King Betweeners engage with us. So he said, and it's very short, he's just like, talk about gay men trapped in heterosexual relationships. Please.
Okay, let's talk about it. One, there's many. First of all, before I relocated back to Kenya in 2016, there was a documentary, and let me tell you, the amount of African documentaries abroad, but where are the documentaries in about England here? Never. Why are there so many? Anyway, we digress. So this was a documentary about the community. And it was exploring, how, what's happening and how the laws are really stringent and human rights, all of this kind of stuff. And there was somebody who was working as a sex worker, a man who was working as a sex worker, and he is only for men. And men who are obviously married, going home to their wives, they were paying extra to have sex with him without protection. This is somebody who's positive. Yes.
Oh my.
And that was before I relocated in 2016. So you can imagine now how much more it's come. Now this happens a lot when homosexuality is illegal, like it is here. So then what ends up happening is that I don't want the consequences of whatever is happening in the society, all of the stigma or whatever. And I also don't want the questions. Your mom keeps asking you why, so you just end up conforming. But the truth is that's not who you are. Yeah. So I don't, what can we say except for... Even know. If we say live authentically, are you willing to deal with the stigma?
Because remember what we were saying earlier is that a society we're just not ready to accept that. It's just like, live authentically, but does society actually want you to live authentically? A lot of people,
anyone who you see who's living authentically, you can see the amount of hate they get.
Yeah.
But also, Maken and Jerry is proving that there are so many other windows and doors that are ready to open because of advocating for something that you truly believe in. Because I think their life is really evidence of the risk is pretty high. You're constantly getting hate. People are always hating on you. But look at the mountains and the doors that are opening for you because of that. You have to be willing to.
Yeah, exactly. I would say that perhaps they're trapping, because you said trapped in heterosexual relationships. They have trapped themselves in there. And I guess to some extent, it's like societal expectations trap you in there. But I would say that if they are able to realize that the place where you're trapped, you can literally just step out if you decide to. And not necessarily, stepping out doesn't necessarily mean you have to come out of the closet and start posting about being of the community. It could just mean not lying to somebody that you are attracted to them by being in that relationship. So even if you're alone and you're continuing with your own relations in private, it doesn't have to be that you've come out, but at least you're not pretending, you're not pretending to be married. Of course, there's all these modalities of maybe you're in a high-end corporate job and they expect someone at that level to be married or whatever.
There's a lot. I would definitely suggest therapy. I know this is all we say here, but there's a limit sometimes to some of the help we're able to offer because there's so much nuances. We've only read 3 lines of your dilemma. We don't know what job you're working as Joe said. We don't know what the dynamics of your family are. We don't know what your life is like. We don't even know where you are in your journey of accepting yourself first. Because I feel like living authentically has a lot to do with you also accepting who you are, So we don't know all of those details. So we would definitely suggest speaking to someone who you can share with. And I promise you, first of all, it's somewhere private, so you're able to be honest. Even some things maybe you might not be able to tell us. You can be honest and somebody can tell you, at least guide you on how you can live your life authentically, or at least guide you to making decisions that are right for you. Because we don't know what's right for you. The consequences are...
I imagine it must be really difficult to literally wake up every day and the way that you are, you're not allowed to be that way. Literally, the law doesn't allow you to be that way. Imagine that.
That for me is what makes me so much more open-minded, because I'm just something that comes so natural to you is a problem. And not only is a problem, it's being made illegal. It's people are getting persecuted for it. I mean, it's extreme.
It feels really
extreme.
Difficult.
And I empathize so much. So that's what I would suggest for sure. This is another one. Hello, TMI. I hope this finds you well. I need advice about an issue that has been going on for a while. I'm a rich kid, and through that, at a young age, I've managed to have several successful businesses. We love that for you.
Mm-hmm.
I made most of my friends in campus, and that was okay because at that point we used to contribute towards birthdays, brunch, or any sherehe we go to. Problem is, I used to treat my friends here and there when the bill came. Problem is, it reached to a point I was the one always picking up the tab. Now I'm 25 years old with an almost 2-year-old, and I feel like I can't keep up with that anymore. Most of my friends are either still in school or just doing entry-level jobs. Is it insane of me to now set boundaries because I am losing so many friends? When I ask them to pay for their drinks and meals, it's now a problem. Do I just drop them and start fresh? What do I do? I'm in a dilemma.
Whew. That sounds a lot like what I've been through.
That's
I've
tough.
I've been through that with my family. I've told you before.
Oh, okay, right.
I mean, there are times when I've been in a place where I feel like I've created a culture where it's like I pay for everything kind of thing. And Lydia has been instrumental in helping me set boundaries because you've already said, you need to set the boundaries.
Because you can feel it. It's being encroached.
Now, the question is, are we willing to deal with the consequences of setting the boundaries? Because clearly, first of all, if we are friends and then I ask you to pay for something and then now we're not friends anymore, like it's a problem. I'm like, thank God, because that person is not actually your friend.
Yeah.
A friendship which is so easily disposable.
So this is the thing. In a situation where boundaries are a problem, both people have come to understand a certain language. So we are speaking French. People have been speaking French since uni, as in that's just what we do. This is what you do. We go out, you pick up the tab, period, because you're richer. Because clearly, if you have several successful businesses, they know that you've got money. So they've come to be in a place of, you're so generous, because you've got so much, that's why you give so much. But for you, the problem is that there's an expectation. Now, when you switch the language of a relationship, there's bound to be consequences, right? And those consequences can be, oh my God, we are being asked to pay, and I know for sure that he's balling. People are going to be personalize that issue, so it's going to be more like, I can barely pay my rent, and I know I told her or him that I have all of these issues financially. So now it's going to seem like that because that's what the person is going to feel like, because there's a change in language. However, that's no reason to not draw boundaries.
Nope, it's not.
Having and an expectation for giving are not cousins. They're not even related. You can have and still not have that expectation. I would personally say that continue to draw those boundaries. And what you might find is that you weed out who isn't for you. As long as you're setting these boundaries with actually have these conversations, because if you're changing the language, it's okay to have the conversation and be like, hey guys, I know I've always been able to do and pay for everyone, but from now on, I would like you guys, if you contribute to the bill. Or like you guys are planning to go out for dinner somewhere, in advance you can send the menu and be like, oh, it looks like everyone is, a meal is about 1,500 to 2,000, just sending this for everyone's planning. Yes. Is everyone okay with this? Exactly. Can everyone afford this? Put yourself in a position where you're not having to tell people pay. We are not even going anywhere if everyone hasn't agreed that we pay.
Exactly.
So I know it's a bit tough for sure.
It's a very awkward thing.
But friendships without boundaries, friendship where you're not feeling seen and things like that, is problematic. And it doesn't feel like you're being generous. It feels like you're being used. And guess what? It's because you're giving. But you still feel like you're being used because it's being taken from a place that you don't want it to be taken.
Exactly. And you want to be in a place where just because you have the money, as Lydia said, doesn't mean automatically that you're going to pay. It's like, I'm paying because maybe if you decide to treat everybody, but it shouldn't be an expect. People should come expecting that they will be paying. Exactly. And if people can't afford it, then let's just go somewhere where everyone can afford to pay.
I don't think you should group all of your friends. The ones who have stopped talking to you, that's fine. But the rest of them, continue drawing those boundaries. And if you do lose all your friends, I promise you, you're going to align with people where you can be yourself, where you don't feel like you're constantly being taken from. This is also a big thing when let's say summer bunnies come, where it's just like, if we go out, it's like it's expected, it's you who handles it, and it's a really poor culture. And I know I've been on that side. So I'm on the extreme, even sometimes on this side. It's just like, I won't come if I feel like that's not something I want to do. I want to spend my money because I don't want us to be even having those kind of dynamics. So it's hurtful.
It's difficult. And I feel like not setting boundaries is difficult because you end up paying, and and then feeling angry or resentful afterwards. Setting the boundary could be painful because then you feel like other people are like, oh, she's mean and whatever. If you have people-pleasing tendencies, it can be difficult because you're like, oh God, now they won't like me, now they'll think I'm mean or whatever. Both ways it's difficult. Just choose.
But
choose
one of them, you're being true to yourself.
Exactly. As I was saying, it's like someone has to feel bad here and it's not me.
It's not me. It's Kate who said, if somebody has to feel bad, I choose
you. Exactly.
I choose you. And be careful the way you're drawing the boundaries, but definitely draw them.
Exactly. All right. Another one. Hello, babes. So my dilemma is that I have been married to the love of my life for 7 years and we have a beautiful baby boy. I told you whenever it starts nicely.
Oh my God.
When we met, we had talked the baby talk and agreed to have 3 babies. All of a sudden, man has changed his mind to 1 baby, the one that we have. I get that because kids are a lot. And that's it. Personally, I just want 1 other child. I talked to my friends about this and they were like, I'm the one to build the family. I should remove the family planning method and just go for it. Hata kataa mtoto wake. What should I do?
I really don't like that just because I'm the one who gets pregnant. I just do it because that he won't refuse the child. But then what about your relationship?
Yeah, it might
maybe he said,
I've
already told you this. You know, you never know what happens between you guys.
That's a lie, or that's a lie that you're going to have to keep up for the rest of your life. Of like, oh no, our family planning method, failed, but you know that it didn't.
Yeah, and maybe the stress that comes with it. Like, have an open conversation. Number one, if you're able to talk about whether it's a money issue, whatever it is, because there's the love of your life, right? Let's talk about it. What about this is making it difficult, and people are allowed to, because even women do that. They're like, I don't want to go through this again. My body just can't do it, right? So then you give someone the ease, or you work towards coming to a common ground, as opposed to let me just have it. I've seen this ruin a marriage. This thing we're talking about right now. The dad was just like, I want 1 child. You've agreed, correct? Yes, but that's not you. You're not agreeing. They have a second. Okay, the second one has come. Let's leave it here. The third one, there's no marriage because I'm the provider. So then there's a reason why he was saying that, and he had already explained this. But now you're just like whatever. You want to keep having kids.
Yeah, but I feel like now that the more I think about it and I say, if I was in that situation, what would I do? I might have the other child.
And then not care what happens to your marriage.
No, I would care. But you see, women, we always find ourselves on the side of like, I'm caring about keeping the marriage together. He's just caring about, I don't want to have another child.
See, I think that's problematic.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
that's definitely problematic. It's because if we and especially if the fact that you're saying, and you see with such things, you can't have half a child. It's either it'll be yours or it'll be mine. There's no in between.
But you see, they said 3.
Yeah.
If we stop at 1, there is no compromise. And I feel like sometimes there needs to be that.
And so if he's not willing to compromise,
I feel like that's the bigger problem. If I was like, clearly this is not the man who I want because he's not trying to listen to me, he doesn't care about my needs, I would have a child because I want to. But then you would know that you're putting this marriage on the line. If it's not already on the line, if you guys can't have this conversation.
And are you about to be, do you want to be raising the two kids alone? I mean, I don't know. I would definitely explore that. I would explore therapy. I would explore going to have speaking with our church community or whatever, something like that. I have seen how people even enter marriages saying they want 7 kids until you realize that diapers are 1,600 and the child has finished them in 3 days. And you're just like, wow. And forget not even money aside. It's just like the emotional, physical toil of raising children really makes people change their minds when they're in there. So I get that. But I also get a woman wanting to have more kids to love. I completely get that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's one of those things which is just like, what are we going to do?
I feel like option A should be to trying to work this out on common ground as a married couple, for sure. Whether it's therapy or church, as Joe is saying, whatever it is. And I've had this story before where the guy was just like so adamant after 1 because he was just like, this is traumatic. And he also was like, I don't want to see you go through what I saw you go through. It's traumatic. And it was actually a valid reason for not. But instead of I'll just have kids anyway, they did that. They did like therapy, let's talk about this, because he was willing to hear her out. It wasn't like, I don't want one end of conversation. It was like, fine, because he's trying to even him find a solution between this because he wants to save his marriage too.
Exactly.
So that being the first one. Then after that, you decide, babe.
You decide, babe.
You decide based on the consequences.
But,
do you want, if this ends your marriage, do you care? Are you prepared to be a single mom of 2? All of those things.
I know. It's like, at some point, it's just like, how badly do you want the kid? How badly do you want your marriage?
As much as I'm saying this, I don't want to have to ruin my marriage about this. But me, the way I want to be a mom,
depending on how exactly. That, you see, it's just so... Yeah, and then now when there's a whole baby. But yeah, this says a lot about how you guys resolve conflicts. And honestly, a conflict resolution in a marriage, like being able to figure that out is like one of the most important things in how your relationship materializes, honestly. And this is clearly conflict. And I guess how he manages this could make or break what you guys have.
Being heard, though, I feel like that's always like the step one on everything.
But like, maybe I have heard you and I get it and I understand, but I don't want another child.
Oh my God.
Because, you know, I empathize with him and I empathize with her. I empathize with them both.
Me, I don't know.
That
is horrible.
And this is, I wish people understood more about like even how marriage works, because in marriage, people change as you're in the marriage. People change so many things. It's like maybe I married you and then we were both this religion and then at some point you found Hinduism and now you've decided you want to be Hindu. A lot of the things that you've discussed at the beginning might not end up being that. And it's how you're able to navigate that. Sometimes you're able to, sometimes you're not. And then, you know, that's why they say it requires a lot of compromise, because maybe this babe decides, okay, fine, I won't have a child. And then, I don't know.
No way, I would resent him forever.
Yeah, but would you? Maybe you wouldn't.
No. One child.
Oh,
if I wanted 3, but there were 2. If we had 2 and I wanted 3, I don't think I'll be resentful. But 1, no way.
Plot twist. And then the child is growing up and then you find out he has had a baby with someone else.
That's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing. Did Neo's ex-wife, did she not tie her tubes at Tisua? They don't have kids anymore.
And he
went and had a whole other family. Personally, I honestly would put like my marriage first on how to work it out, as we said, but I don't know, there might be a hard decision. I feel like this is actually kind of more common than we think. So if you've ever experienced this, whether you didn't want more kids or your husband didn't want more kids or whatever the case may be, please talk to her in the DM. And if you are responding to a DM, do say, like, actually you guys usually say that in the comments. So on the one about X, then you share your opinion. Please share as many as possible, because clearly we're here on a stalemate, looking at each other like, hey, and then
I feel like it's easier when it's like you don't want another kid, because you can just not have the baby. Don't you think so? I feel like as opposed to like now you're taking on more responsibility.
It adds more responsibility. Yeah, guys, please help us out. Share your opinion. As we said, definitely seek therapy. Try and talk about this as opposed to like going head to head. Okay.
One last one, because our time is up. I know.
Hey, ladies. Hope you're doing well. I'm in a dilemma. So I'm currently dating this man. He's of good character and most importantly, our values align. Ding, ding, ding. The only problem is that he's not an initiator. I'm the one who plans the dates, the sleepovers and that, but he willingly pays for the date. Through this, I don't want him to commit to initiating some of these things. I would want him to commit to initiating some of these things more. I tried telling him about some of these issues some few weeks ago. I can see a bit of an improvement, but not what I fully want from him. Kindly advise me what to do. I feel like if there's improvement, then improvement is coming. This might not be his nature. This might not be his nature. First of all, we always assume that every single man is a bit of an initiator. That's an assumption we assume from the opposite sex, but there are many men who are not like that. The same way, it's assumed that women aren't initiators. Hello, TMI.
Welcome, babe, to the land of initiating.
Yeah, so it depends. People are different for different reasons, and you're imposing what you expect from a man. So now he looks like he's less than. But the truth is, he's a person, and his characteristics have been built up on so many things. I would say, because he's heard you and he's improving, how long has it been improving? Is this something that's going to keep going? Or is it like the improvement is too small, it's too slow? I would personally say, let's see what's happening.
Exactly.
Let's keep doing it.
I appreciate the fact that he's made it clear that he's heard you and he's actually making like an effort and he's actually taking steps towards it. So I would say, definitely give him time.
I do get it.
Also, imagine somebody has been a certain way their whole life and then now it just needs to change in this short time. It's gonna take a few minutes, kind of thing. So as long as he's making an improvement, I think it's great and sometimes it'll take you reinforcing it a number of times. I definitely had to do that with Zach, for example. When we met, I've said this many times, times he wasn't really a gifter. And even for him, even receiving gifts, he was just like neither here nor there. Yeah. But like a few times, I had to mention a few times, like when something is coming up, I'm just like, so babe, you know, my birthday is coming up. I would really like this. So like now I've already told him. And it's 6 years in marriage. I already told him, babe, I'm expecting an iPhone 14. So, you know, do what you're gonna do. Do what you go. So at least he can't say that he doesn't know. Yeah, but anyway, so maybe you just keep reinforcing and just keep saying. But the fact that he's willing to put in the effort, I think that's cute.
I think I feel like that's what relationships are supposed to be. So this is what I would like do more of. I also feel like sometimes we don't give people room. We've talked about this as well. So we say that men don't really listen as much. When's the last time you shut your mouth? When's the last time
your mouth? I don't understand.
When's the last time you spent more than 5 minutes without your beak open? Huh? Lydia? Tell us. But men don't talk. They do talk, but they don't get a chance.
This is having me and Zach on a call. It's been like an hour into the call, and I'm like, oh, and you, how's your day?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes we don't even give the opportunity to do that. You try as well in a lot of the situations where you do feel naturally like initiating. See if you can just take a pause or be like, oh, hey, babe, if you guys are, let's say you set a date night, that would be actually a good way. You set a date night, okay, babe, it's maybe today, this time you can arrange it. Just give more opportunity for him to initiate because it sounds like you're a natural initiator, which according to men and women isn't the norm. So maybe there's a way you are too that actually needs a bit more adjusting to get the dynamic that you desire. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question about this. Do you feel like there's a kind of like dangerous precedent that's being, or standard that is being set on social media? You know, where you always see these things of like, if he wanted to, he would.
First of all, that's incorrect.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes it's just like we're not even willing to give people a chance because it's just like, what? He didn't buy me a gift on Valentine's. Obviously, he didn't love me, or I just deserve better. Whereas maybe this is a person who just like, he just wasn't raised where people were celebrating Valentine's, or he just hasn't been in a relationship where it's expected, or his previous girlfriend, like, you know, kind of thing. And we're not willing to give people a chance to be able to prove to us that they can match our expectations, which maybe we've not even communicated clearly what our expectations are. I definitely think something's happening.
I think it's problematic. What do you mean if you wanted, you would? If you wanted to be the woman you're supposed to be, you would. And yet here we are. So saying that, it's just like, what are you saying? There are so many things that affect why someone does what they do, what motivates them, what they're even able to do. A lot of us have the capacity to do so much. We all want to be millionaires.
We all want to lose weight.
That's it. And then?
And I do want to.
But if you want to, you would. There's so many things that go between the desire to have something and actually being able to actualize it. That's where we get support. If you wanted to stop doing X, you would get support to be able to do it. Start understanding yourself. Why do I do this? What can I do different? I disagree with that. And one of the reasons why we constantly talk about communicating your expectations is because the assumption that somebody should know how to love me when they didn't know me last year is ridiculous.
It's crazy.
If they've not been talked into it. Some people would naturally do it because that's great, but that's not a test of your love being more than this other person.
Exactly.
Love is evolving with someone. So if you're communicating your expectations, you're sharing what you need, and they're making effort to get there, depending on if it's a genuine effort, you can see progress. Give someone time to evolve.
Give someone a chance. Give someone, of course, there's a bare minimum, like there's a guy just responding to you, respecting honesty. You. Exactly. Those are the basics. Those ones for sure. If you wanted to, we're not teaching those ones. But things like, extraordinary things like when I get to bed, I would love if you've opened my side of the bed.
That's something. Like that's too unique to you it's for anyone to know.
Right?
That's you, right?
That's
How
me.
on earth would anyone know that?
Yeah. Because for him, he's just like, why me? He doesn't even think about it when he gets to bed and I haven't opened his side. For me, when I enter, I'm like, you've only opened your side.
Yeah, that's so
my
unique.
Side. Yeah, exactly.
And that's it. So this idea that when somebody is perfect for you, you're not going to need to teach them, that is utopian and it's harmful, and this is not a Disney film. Please. This is not it. Get over it. In reality, a lot of times you're going to tell them what you like because they don't know you. So express yourself and share your expectations. We were told that, you remember that girl who said that actually in the beginning you should just watch him, see. And then you're crying to your babes that he didn't do.
At Valentine's?
Yeah.
Oh. She hasn't reported back, but we sense that things perhaps didn't go
well. But we saw so many of you in the Valentine's episode saying that I told him and things are happening.
Exactly.
I've told him and things, so many. And then those of you who you told and nothing happened.
Yeah.
You know.
And you know what? I understand, because sometimes it feels so nice when he just does something without you having to think. Like, it just feels nice.
It's the best.
You know what? This is just c'est la vie. Sometimes you just have to tell them. You just must tell them.
And I think there's nothing wrong with telling someone.
Nothing wrong. Yeah. Geez, our dilemmas today have been quite intense. From LGBTQ to burping on command.
I've really loved this. I've really, really loved
this. It's been intense.
Yeah.
I mean, what I like is that I love when other people are probably somewhere watching this and they're like, oh my God, that I thought I was the only one who struggles with that. Right. I thought I was the only one who was. Exactly. I love when people are able, when we're able to share these things, because me and Lydia have only our problems. But when we can be able to say, like, okay, everyone has some kind of issue that they're dealing with. Yeah. They're so unique, and we really appreciate that you guys trust us enough to send us your dilemmas. I personally, I feel grateful.
Yeah, and I love that we are the place that you guys feel comfortable to share some of this, from kings to anything. I love that we've created a space where you feel comfortable to share that with us. So we really appreciate it. And we constantly say the reason why we talk about all of these issues is so that people can feel safe. Yeah. Safe to navigate through life without feeling shamed or ridiculed about things which clearly we are all going through. Yeah. We hope we've helped, because some of them, honestly, I don't think we were able to give enough.
This one was a bit of like a tough set of questions.
There were
I would say,
which were like definitely beyond us.
I feel like we need to have an episode where we invite a sex therapist, because some of the
and even a therapist,
and then we said a member of the LGBTQ community. Yes, like things which are specific, so that an expert can be able to give us what is it like on that side, kind of thing. Yeah. We'll
next one, we said McKenna and Jerry.
Yeah,
Nancy. Get on it. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Please, if you're watching on YouTube, please let us know what you think in the comments, because this is definitely a shared experience, and people go on the comments to see what other people think. And in anything, guys, if we said something which was wrong, or maybe we didn't get it correct, but you are in a place to educate us, please educate us
in a respectful
way, because we don't know everything. So if there is something maybe we've shared that it's just like, actually, because I'm in this community, I can say this and this and this because I'm more informed. Please do share, guys. But until our next episode, see ya.